Hey boys and girls, it's Brian again with Beachy Model Workshop, and we're in the garage today, or for our UK friends, the garage. I love being multilingual. So we're in the garage today because we're working with wood, even though it's tiny bits of wood. I'm still hyper allergic to sawdust, and I like to work out in the garage with this type of stuff because I can escape the garage if I need to, and if I'm in the hobby room, it's a little harder to escape from that. But we're doing the wood planking for the Lowboy trailer that we got in progress as of right now. That is curing up. We just did some paint on that, and we're letting it do its thing right now. But I wanted to share the process that I used for weathering the wood planking. Now, what we did was we had gone to a hobby store and picked up a big bag of hundreds of craft sticks, basically popsicle sticks that haven't been stained with popsicle juice yet. And these have just a little bit of a waxy coating to them, it feels like. And I'm not sure if that's actually wax on there or if it's just a very, very smooth wood. I'm not quite sure what the process is for making these guys, but I've always found in the past to have like a waxy film on them. So that was going to be a little bit of an issue for what we wanted to do here. So we had, of course, plastic decking that came with the kit, and I used that as our templates for both the main load deck and the forward load deck that's over the hitch area. So we used the patterns, cut everything out to shape, and then I laid out some duct tape, double side, looped it on itself so that everything would stay nice and put where we're going to be working on it. And then we just sanded it down with various grades of sandpaper to both take off that waxy feeling and then also kind of scuff up the planking. And I wasn't too gentle at all. I wanted this to look like it's going to be, it's lived a life and now it's telling its story is basically where I wanted to go with that. So we hit it with some sandpaper, and then we went back over that after we dusted everything off, and I took allergy medicine. I went back over it with some golden oak. This is a wood finish stain marker by Minwax, and it's just a couple bucks. I think they're about $3.50, depending on your location, I think. And I got this at Home Depot. I got it a couple of years ago, and it's still working well. I haven't used it on furniture yet. I've been using it on this type of stuff. But we went over the whole thing with the stain marker, and then I let that cure up for a couple of hours until it stopped being oily feeling and stuff. And then we hit it with the Dremel with this cone-shaped bit on there. And you can see the wood pulp still stuck in that. And what we did was we went alongside in between each individual plank, and this is why it's very important you have these tacked down pretty well. So we went in between all the joints on each plank, and then we also hit some of the planks here and there to dig up some stuff, take down the edges, round over the sides, and then over here at the front, this would be the front of the trailer, I had to bevel this, not too badly, but I had to bevel a little bit because it has to go underneath a brace that's at the front of the trailer. So I did that for both the main deck and the secondary deck at the front of the trailer. And then dusted everything off and went back and tried something I didn't think it was going to work, but it actually did. I had to wrap it up for the evening because we had plans, so I got some water and a foam brush, and then we just went over everything with water. It still had the stain on there in areas, so we went over there with the foam brush, and then that got down into the wood grain, left it outside overnight. It got down into the wood grain, and then it helped raise some of that grain up. So here's one of my favorite planks right there. So once that all got raised up and everything, this morning we came out and hit it with a very well used sanding sponge and took down the tops of all that stuff to really help bring out the wood texture and such. And then I believe it was Rob with Rob's Model Addiction had commented and said that it would be kind of cool if we did oil stains on there. And I had to agree. I was kind of going that way also, but when Rob mentioned it, I was like, yeah, you know what, let's just give it a try. So originally what I had tried was thinning out some Tamiya black, making it very, very watery. And I didn't really like the result of it because it just looked like paint on there. So I went back inside and grabbed my panel liners. And I hardly ever have a use for the brown. And now I do. This is beautiful. I went through, let's see if we can pick out a couple of cool areas. So I went all along through here. And then all the dark spots that we see is all the brown stuff up in here also. I discovered the best thing to do is put a little drop of the brown on there and then immediately put just a little dot of the black on there, and that gives us some really cool looking stains like this stuff right here. This is just the black itself dropped on there. I don't really like that too much, but this is the brown with a little bit of black, and it really seals the deal. It really sells what we're trying to get going on here. So on the front, up on the tongue, I just did the edges and then a few random drops of brown here and there on the deck. I figure most stuff is going to be loaded by forklift from the sides or whatever. Nothing's going to be driven on there, of course, because it's too tall of a step. So I didn't figure stuff was going to be too messed up. I want to do some scratches coming in from the sides, like stuff's been slid on there, pallets and whatever. So we're going to do that after we get all of this stuff sorted out here for the front. But I'm mainly focusing on just getting some oil staining and some weathering done on the back end here. Alright guys, everybody have a great weekend. If you guys want to see a tutorial on this, let me know, and I'll try my best on doing it again on camera so you can get an idea of the technique. But it worked once, so it should work again. Okay, we'll talk to you a little bit later. I'm really hoping to have a final for this by the time we leave for Oregon next week. So we'll see you then. Bye now.